Hello and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking. Today we will be making sausage and egg breakfast casserole. Very easy dish to make that you can enjoy any time of the week, not just for breakfast. So we're going to go over all the ingredients and how to make it. So I hope you like this and let's get to it.
Alright, so the items you're going to need today for your breakfast casserole are going to be 1 pound of sausage cooked. You need half a loaf of King's Hawaiian round bread, sliced and cut into cubes or just kind of strips. You're going to need 1 medium to large onion. You're going to need 12 eggs. You're going to need a half teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 1/4 cups of milk, and 8 ounces of Colby Jack cheese. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut up the bread and we're going to put it in the pan. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the eggs, milk, salt, and pepper and blend them together whisk them together in a bowl. And then we're going to cook the sausage and go from there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut the bread and put it in the pan right away. Now what I am using here is called a bread knife, and you can kind of see the little serrations on the bottom of it. This is so the bread gets a nice straight cut. If you don't have one of these, you can go ahead, I would just go ahead and kind of tear it up a little bit into little pieces the best you can. So we're going to go ahead and cut it. And you can see right here it's given a very straight cut. Now if you use a regular knife, you'd get a lot of kind of bending, and you kind of see it's not kind of bending it down and creating a lot of extra mess. So bread knife is always a very good thing to have for yourself. Alright, so you can see the bread in a 9x13 pan. It is greased. Now I am going to go over the different type of pans you can use, or cooking pans you can use for this today. But for right now, we're going to get the eggs ready and the meat going. Alright, so right now you can see I have the eggs just sitting in a container. I'm going to go ahead and start whisking them. Now, I like to whisk them first before I add the ingredients. But you can add the ingredients in before you start whisking, but I'm just going to go ahead and start now. Kind of the reason I'm pressing down like that is I'm trying to get the egg yolks kind of broken apart to whisk them together. Alright, so it's pretty well together. We don't want to keep just going, so go ahead and add your milk. And add your salt and pepper. And start whisking together again. And once you feel that it's combined enough, just go ahead and set it aside for right now, unless your sausage is already done, in which case we'll start pouring everything over. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start the sausage. Now I did forget to point out that when you're cooking the sausage, towards the end, I am going to add some fennel seeds to it. Now you don't have to. I like to add fennel seeds to give it a little bit of an extra flavoring to it. Goes really good with it. If you've ever had pizza and you see the little seeds on it, those are fennel seeds, and they do give your meal a nice little extra flavor. Alright, the sausage is done right now. So if you do have a lot of grease sitting in the bottom of it, you do want to go ahead and drain your sausage. But ours isn't too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the onions right now. And the onions themselves will not take a great deal of time to cook, just a couple minutes. Just kind of want to make sure they're translucent. And then we're going to go ahead and add the fennel seeds, and then we'll go ahead and actually get this going. Alright, so the onions are pretty translucent at this point. So we're going to go ahead and add the fennel seeds. And you don't really need to do like a tablespoon or anything. Just kind of, what I like to do is just kind of pour it over like this. It's not too much. You don't want to crowd it. But go ahead. Kind of add a little bit. You don't need to add a lot. You'll actually smell the flavoring almost right away from it. We're just going to take a minute or about 20, 30 seconds to kind of stir it in. Alright, so the sausage and everything is done right now. So what you want to do is take it off the heat, kind of set it off to the side. You want to get out a spatula. You don't want to use what you were cooking with to scoop it into the eggs. Alright, so before we pour, I want to go over the different types of pans you can use. As you can see today, we're using the 9x13 pan greased. You can use also a medium-sized Corningware and grease that as well and put that in the oven. If not, you can use, I also highly suggest use a 9x9 pan and as well and grease it. There's really not one better than the other, I believe. It's just giving you some options, letting you know. So right now what you want to do, once you've selected your pan, go ahead and turn the oven on to 350. So now we're going to actually pour it together, and I'm going to show you how. Alright, so what you want to do is go ahead and take your whisker out, put it in your dishwasher or however you're washing it today. So what we want to do, first take the eggs, and we're going to pour about half. Just kind of take it, pour it over, and go up and down, try to get a good layer going. Now if you do a little more than half, again, not a big deal. A little half, maybe a little less, not a huge deal like I said. So go ahead and take about half your cheese, kind of create a nice layer. Now, also take about half of the egg or of the meat. We're going to put that on top of it. Alright, now what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and pour, the other half on top. Alright, so now that that's done, we're just going to wait for the oven to heat up. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to cook this for about 20 to 30 minutes. And you're going to want to see make sure the eggs are set. And you're going to want to make sure kind of the top is a little bit of a golden brown, and you can get a little more golden brown as much as you want. Obviously, just don't make sure that it's basically like charred and black. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I will see you then. Alright, so as you can see, our casserole is done. We got a nice little golden brown crust forming on top. Now what you want to do is after you take it out, just let it sit off the heat for about 5 to 10 minutes before serving, because you want to let it kind of solidify a little bit more. Alright, so if you love this recipe, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment on it. And I hope your taste buds and your stomach enjoyed the deliciousness today. Alright, and thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.